What's up, folks? Things are about to get a little boozy over here. It's our second ever Sips episode, and for the sake of deliciousness, the thread of Seoul's drinking scene we like to follow today is makgeolli, fermented rice wine. But more to the point, what we're especially after is a subtle and sensuous makgeolli tasting, complete with a distinguished guest that's never tried this specialty before, and a baller array of show-stopping grub that only Korea could dish up. It's gonna be magical, and it's definitely gonna be over the top.
최근에 특별한 누군가가 저희를 만나러 왔습니다. 저희가 살고 있는 필라델피아에서 몇 년 전 알게 된 친한 친구 제니를 1년여 만에 서울에서 만나게 된 건데요. 친한 미국 친구를 한국에서 보는 게 너무 반가웠고, 제니는 한국이 처음이기 때문에 서울의 관광지, 힙스팟들, 궁궐들, 역사적인 거리와 뒷골목 등등 이곳저곳을 소개시켜줄 예정이에요. 그리고 당연히 맛있는 음식들도요. 그 출발은 유일무이하고 북적북적한 광장시장에서 시작하는 게 적절할 것 같아요. 일단 지금은 파티 분위기를 업시켜주기 위해서 술이 좀 필요하겠죠? 이 분위기에 맞을 장소로 힙한 동네인 익선동이 저희 레이더망에 들어왔습니다. 익선동은 인사동과 종묘 사이에 위치해 있는데요. 그곳 조용한 골목에 숨어있는 잘빠진 메밀의 두 번째 지점으로 갑니다. 이곳은 작은 식당으로 맛있는 막걸리 컬렉션으로 인기를 끌고 있는 곳인데요. 2014년에 여기서 멀지 않은 서촌에서 처음 시작됐답니다. 음식으로는 메밀이 이곳을 유명하게 해준 주 재료인데요. 역시나 저희가 자리에 앉자마자 시원하고 맛있는 메밀차가 서빙됩니다. 메뉴에 다른 음식들도 맛있는 게 많다네요. 하지만 먹파티에 앞서 저희는 막걸리로 바로 뛰어들 예정입니다. 특히 제니는 지금 막걸리를 처음 마셔본답니다. For any of you that haven't tried it, 막걸리 is a milky, partially filtered rice wine, typically containing 6 to 10% alcohol by volume, though sometimes more, and made with a dried grain fermentation starter known as nuru. It can have both a cloudiness and a sparkling fizziness to it, and it can take on a number of different complex flavors, all shaped by fermentation time, added ingredients, temperature, and plenty of other factors. It also happens to be Korea's oldest alcoholic drink, dating back over 1500 years ago, and it's long been known as a favorite of country farmers and the working class. 더 기다릴 것 없이 목도 마르겠다. 이제 시동을 부릉부릉 걸어봅니다. 존이 더 상세하게 전해드릴 거예요.
We're in the mood to stretch our palates, and we're going with one of Jalppajin makgeolli flights, specifically their deep sampler, which features 5 different variations with a slightly more sour and bitter profile. First up to bat is Seoul, known to closely resemble makgeolli in its most traditional form, and named after the renowned brewmaster that created it. It has a 6% alcohol content, it's wonderfully clean, and it's decidedly unsweet. A bit muted, a little tart and nutty, and very drinkable. Jenny's especially on board, and you better believe she's taking notes. Number 2 is Haechang, a 3 times fermented brew made in Haenam County, and that's been around for nearly 100 years. 9% alcohol by volume, super luscious and thick, and taste-wise, this has everything I want in a makgeolli. A beautiful dark bitterness, an excellent hit of sour, and a soft fruitiness that almost takes on a grape-like flavor. I could get rowdy after a couple bottles of something this good. Up next is Hyangsan, also 9% and aged for over a month, and made by a self-taught brewer that used to work in Silicon Valley. For my taste, it's maybe too heavy on the sour, but the brightness is rounded out with a really nice milky texture, and this one gets the Kongsul stamp of approval. Then, coming in at number 4 is Sul Yeppeda, a beautifully colored red rice makgeolli with a 10.9% alcohol content. This might be the most complex one of the bunch. Very aromatic, nicely sweet and tart, and definitely packing a peculiar, cheesy umami. It's getting mixed reviews around the table, but speaking for myself, give me that off-kilter, mellow, tangy vibe any day of the week. And finally, clocking in at 14%, our final contestant is the highly touted Cheonbihang, one of the only commercially available makgeollis that undergoes 5 rounds of fermentation, with 3 months of aging on top of that. Sweet, boozy, flowery, extra smooth, and balanced to a T. This one has supposedly been served to special guests at the Blue House in the past, and we can totally see why. After some heated debate, the haechang might be the consensus favorite by a hair, and Jenny is still stating her case for the sommyeong-sup, but truth be told, every one of these brought some immense quality and mystical wonder into the mix. That said, hold the phone, because in seconds flat, we got some post-drink trouble on our hands. The main feature is bossam, or seasoned boiled pork shoulder that's sliced and served with wrapping veggies and pickled items, and it arrives with some typical backup. Sesame leaf, kamte, a dried green algae, half-dried radish with some nice heat, and both fermented octopus and fermented shrimp paste. To add even more to the drama, there's also some hefty and crispy fried buckwheat dumplings, stuffed with pork, tofu, and veggies, buckwheat rolls loaded with kimchi, sweet, spicy, tender half-dried pollock and mega-sweet sliced yuzu, chives, cabbage kimchi, pickled radish, buckwheat sprouts, and ordered as an extra, 100% pure buckwheat noodles, topped with some beautiful, very fresh abalone. Outrageous culinary shenanigans like this go on all the time in Korea, but damn if it isn't inspiring. The pork has an excellent balance of lean meat to fat, plus some wonderful Chinese herbal flavors to kick things up, and among all the other taste bud bombarding craziness, the buckwheat items are perhaps blown us away the most, with perfect nuttiness and texture. Our first-timer guest is getting a full dose of K-food joy. I'm hogging the very last drops of haechang, and this amazing meal is a reminder. Nothing beats food and drink that literally hits you from all sides, but this is doubly true when dining with good friends. As always, thanks a million for joining us, and catch y'all in Seoul again next time.